Hi everybody, my name is Benafsha Soonawalla. I am an actress and a host, also a traveler and a reader, which could be one of the few reasons why I think I might have learned a few things here and there that I'm going to share with you all today. Now this is going to be a very simple yet a very meaningful talk, and I sincerely hope that I can share and impart all that I know and all that I have learned about trying to achieve a good life and having a good life. Now, wherever you're watching this from, I want you all to close your eyes for 15 seconds and think of all the things that you're blessed with. Do this as sincerely as possible. I will do it along with you. Okay, our time starts now. How good did that feel? For those of you that managed to do it sincerely, I'm sure that felt very good, because that is the power and that is the magic of gratitude. There are so many things to be thankful for. It is said and experienced by many that she or he that feels gratitude for everything that she or he has will receive more. Have you ever noticed yourself constantly complaining about a certain something, and that same thing tends to keep on getting worse? Now try feeling gratitude for it. Try thinking of all the good things about that very thing. For example, let's take your job. Let's say, for example, you're frustrated with your job. You can't stop picking on all the bad things about your job. Now start thinking about all the good things. Think about how much money it brings you. If you are able to feed your family with that money, that is a brilliant thing. Think about all the good things about your job instead of complaining, and see how it changes for you. And I'm sure it will if you feel true gratitude for it. As I mentioned before, there are so many things to be grateful for. You could be grateful for a loved one. You could be grateful for a good job. Remember to be grateful for the water you drink, for the food on your table. You know, I've been reading this book, Magic, by Rhonda Byrne. And in that book, the author quotes Newton, where he says, "I am looking at the solar system, and I see the earth at the perfect distance from the sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance." This is what he said. That is so wonderful. Now think about that. Let me explain some more things. The author also goes on to tell us in the book about how we're all protected by this protective atmosphere, beyond which there is no air or oxygen. About the fact that trees give off oxygen so that the air is continually replenished. About the fact that if we were to be placed anywhere else in the galaxy apart from the Earth, then we'd all be devastated by cosmic radiation. Now, these are all facts, but how often in our day do we think of it? Months might pass and we might never have even given a thought to it. For some of you who have, that's a brilliant thing. Feel gratitude before you sleep, and feel gratitude every day that you open your eyes and wake up to a beautiful new day. That brings us to the end of our first note on how to achieve a good life, which is gratitude. Moving on to our next note, I'm going to explain this with an example from my own life. There was this day I was feeling very overwhelmed. I felt very heavy on my emotions. I felt very angry, very hurt. I was in pain, but I had to be somewhere. I had somewhere to be, so I got into a cab. And I couldn't hold back my tears because I was very overwhelmed. I was feeling extremely emotional. So I couldn't hold back my tears and I started crying. I started sobbing. So my cab driver heard me and he looked behind. He looked at me and he said in Hindi, he asked me, "Madam, aap kyun ro rahe ho?" please mat ro, which means, Madam, why are you crying? Please don't cry. Now he said such a simple statement, but he said it with so much kindness, without expecting absolutely anything in return. He said that with so much kindness, love, care, and compassion, that for a minute there I just forgot all about my pain and my suffering, and I lightened up. I completely got humble all over again. And my heart was filled with love and positivity. And this is just one of the examples that goes on to prove that kindness will always be bigger than any kind of hate, sorrow, anger, pain. Kindness and love is the biggest of all. That was really a wonderful day for me to realize something beautiful. Moving on to my next note. Now this is a combination of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Now I'm a Zoroastrian, and in Zoroastrianism, we are taught to believe in good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, as I am sure every other religion teaches as well. Wake up and remember that today I am going to say nothing negative. I am going to fill my mind with good thoughts. I'm going to say only good things, and I'm going to do only good deeds. And this is definitely a win-win, because not only is it a beautiful thing to do to change the world, because it always starts with yourself, but it also is something that will make you feel so light and so amazing within you. It really, really is beautiful how simple and wonderful these things are. Moving on to my next note. Purpose and passion. Direct your life towards a purpose. Remember that every human being has a true passion and a true purpose. Direct your life towards a purpose. Remember to master and develop the skills for that purpose and feel as much passion as you can. Every human being has his true passion and purpose deep within himself or herself, and if you really look within, you will find it. Converse with yourself, be kind to yourself, make mistakes, but explore what makes you happy, and you will find it. That brings me to my next note, which is about persistence. Now, all of us have laid out a set of goals to achieve. We all want to achieve certain goals. And we always think, oh, if this goal I achieve, everything is great. But only some of us might have realized that we're actually looking to be persistent, because the goal, or we're actually looking to be persistent, because the goal is actually, the destination is actually for but a second. But what we're really looking to do is we want to go on our journey to fulfill that goal. We want to go on our journey to achieve that goal. And once that goal is done, we feel happy. We feel overjoyed. But we're on to our next. Because human beings are seekers. We want to seek and seek. We have a thirst for search. And every time one goal ends, human beings are out on their journey to achieve their next. Because all they're looking for is to be persistent and to be on their journey continuously. And that truly is a wonderful quality that human beings have. So keep at it. Our next note is about learning. Now, learning is a very powerful thing. Because, and by power, I do not mean you meet up with a bunch of your friends and you're discussing about how amazing your IQ or your GK is. In this context, learning is that which makes you powerful, because every failure and every time you are not okay, or every time that you are upset, you are learning. And you are learning until you get stronger, wiser, and more dependent on your inner strength and wisdom, and less dependent on outer situations, events, or people for your happiness. So that, and mind you, you will learn if you just remember to learn instead of always sulking, and you will get stronger. So remember that these are the real lessons that life teaches us, the learnings that life teaches us, and hence we learn. Our next note is a very interesting one. Believing in the power of your own mind. Now, when I realized this in my own life, it was one of the most beautiful things that ever happened to me. Because how wonderful it is to be the guide of your own life. How wonderful it is to realize that all your happiness, peace, success, failure, relationships lies right here. Take care of your mind. Guide it the right way. Keep it away from the things that unnecessarily disturb and disrupt its peace. Fill it with positivity and good thoughts. Strengthen it during the tough times and keep it humble in the good. Tune it how you want to, towards happiness, peace, success, prosperity, and all that it is that you desire. Remember that you cannot let anybody else or any other situation control your mind. You have got to keep the control within you. And if you really believe in the power of your own mind, you're going to know that it is your mind. It belongs to you. You are the master of it. And that at the end of the day, it will always, always listen to its master. How wonderful it is. These are just simple lessons, but I'm sure they're going to be really helpful if you really apply them. Our next note on how to achieve a good life is happiness. You need to find happiness everywhere you go. Make it a point, because to be happy and to be smiling can unknowingly really improve your day. Now, some would say or think that how can I be happy on days where I feel slightly low? On those days, an easy and quick solution to being happy is to be grateful. Think of your blessings, count your blessings, and while you're counting your blessings, I'm sure it is very difficult to not feel a certain amount of happiness. So remember to count your blessings and believe that you have to be happy. Find it, look for it, and make sure that you're happy. Our next note is about peace. Now, peace. Our physical body needs nourishment. So does our mind. You feed yourselves to be fit, to be healthy. But what about the mind? You have to feed your mind as well. You have to nourish your mind. You have to feed it with all the things that benefit it. You have to remember that feeling peaceful is the most fulfilling feeling in the entire world. So make sure that you find your peace. Our next note on how to achieve a good life is discipline. Now, discipline is the one thing that binds all of that I've mentioned before. Discipline is something without which your life is but happening, and you have no control over it. And then you might complain and you might think, oh, things are not going my way. But how will they if you're not disciplined enough? For any career, any work that you do, you obviously need to be extremely disciplined in order to be successful. But not just that, you need to be disciplined in your life as well. All that I have mentioned before this is not, let's face it, it is not a piece of cake. It's not always going to be easy to wake up and say all the good things. It's not always easy to say the best things about people or about situations. You might sometimes really quarrel with your mind while you're trying to tame it. And you might also forget to say thank you before you're having your meal. But all you have to do is set out certain values, certain guidelines, and certain rules. Be strict with your discipline. And remember that discipline is very important for your career, but it is also very important in order to achieve a good life. Be strict with your values and make sure that they enrich your life and that they're good for your life and each day that passes by. So this was the last note on how to achieve a good life. And of course, I am not the queen of everything. I have myself experienced these things, tried to bring gratitude, thankfulness in my life, tried to believe in the power of my mind, remembered to be peaceful and happy and strive for it. I've tried all these things, I've practiced all these things, and it's been difficult to do some days. But you practice, and that's the fun of it. Because when you achieve it, it feels absolutely wonderful. And to end this talk, I'd just like to say that all that has helped me, I really hope that I could share all of this with you and that it helps you too in your life. And also, I really hope for all of you that you all are so blessed to wake up every morning, to wake up to a new day, to wake up to new wonderful hours to make your life a wonderfully good life. Thank you so much.